Another example of what one might expect to find in an old book that touches upon the subject of health or medicine is outdated remedies or cures. Various historical sources state that the Prophet Muhammad gave some advice about health and hygiene, yet most of these pieces of advice are not contained in the Qur'an. At first glance, to the non-Muslims, this appears to be a negligent omission. They cannot understand why Allah would not include such helpful information in the Qur'an. Some Muslims attempt to explain this absence with the following argument. Although the Prophet's advice was sound and applicable to the time in which he lived, Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knew that there would come later medical and scientific advances which would make the Prophet's advice appear outdated. When later discoveries occurred, people might say that such information contradicted that which the Prophet Muhammad had given. Thus, since Allah would never allow any opportunity for the non-Muslims to claim that the Qur'an contradicts itself or the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, He only included in the Qur'an information and examples which could stand the test of time. However, when one examines the true realities of the Qur'an in terms of its existence as a divine revelation, the entire matter is quickly brought into its proper perspective, and the error in such argumentation becomes clear and understandable. It must be understood that the Qur'an is a divine revelation, and as such, all information in it is of divine origin. Allah revealed the Qur'an from Himself. It is the words of Allah which existed before creation, and thus nothing can be added, subtracted, or altered. In essence, the Qur'an existed and was complete before the creation of Prophet Muhammad, so it could not possibly contain any of the Prophet's own words or advice. An inclusion of such information would clearly contradict the purpose for which the Qur'an exists, compromise its authority, and render it inauthentic as a divine revelation. Consequently, there was no home remedies in the Qur'an which one could claim to be outdated, nor does it contain any man's view about what is beneficial to health, what food is best to eat, or what will cure this or that disease. In fact, the Qur'an only mentions one item dealing with medical treatment, and it is not in dispute by anyone. It states that in honey there is healing, and certainly I do not think that there is anyone who will argue with that.